Hi, I'm Just Okay performer Trixie Mattel.
And I'm Sarah Paulson's intergenerational lover, Holden Taylor.
She is old. Welcome to #AfterShow, and today we're going to talk about episode 8 of American Horror Story, Hotel. We are going to talk about 5 of the most important points in this week's episode. We open with RuPaul's Drag Race Season 11's Liz Taylor crying because she's still sad about her beautiful husband who died.
Yeah, I mean, if Tristan died, I would actually be over as well. Like, I'd be devastated, so can you blame her?
This is maybe the first episode in a while without that actor.
I know.
And it was definitely lacking in
Westrock.
some horror hunk.
We miss your cheekbones, babe.
There's 2 things I hate. Liars and fornicators. And I hate when shows give me 1,000 questions and leave me until I'm basically 1 foot out the door, and then they're like, but wait, this happened.
Right.
And that's what they're trying in this episode. I thought like, oh, they're gonna drag this out, and then this big bomb was dropped right in the first 5 minutes.
They gave it to you up front.
Detective John is a killer.
He's a straight up killer.
I knew it in the way of I didn't know it all, but I knew.
No, you definitely called it. You were, don't be modest, you called it, and...
It had this very Sixth Sense feel where like,
right.
This person is tiptoeing around all this bloodshed and somehow not involved. You
And
know what I mean?
we also got like a lot of like premonitions and situations where they were alluding to the fact that he was the killer, like all the like James Patrick March, him being at the dinner, because usually when you end up at the Hotel Cortez, if you're not dead yourself, you end up dead, yet he never ended up dead.
He has not been deaded.
Listen, if Hypodermic Sally is like, come with me, let me show you something, you should be foaming at the mouth, rolling on the ground, but he was fearless, and that led us to believe that there was a darkness lurking inside of him. And we were right about that, because the minute Mamacita opened that little body vault door, what did we see? We saw intestines, we saw tongues.
I knew it was gonna be him.
I mean, we saw a lot of things, and he still was not getting it. Do you remember? He's like staring at all the jars. He's like, why are these jars?
He was totally like getting it, and she was like, babe, it's okay that you kill people.
They strung us along like we went to Justin Bieber's jump-offs. I mean, it was terrible. This was an important denouement because we found out what was happening, and
denouement, which means abundance. This bitch has been coming to this hotel for basically 5 years.
5 years.
He's been the lead detective on this case in an effort to cover up his own tracks because he's the killer. If I was gonna kill someone, that's how I do it.
It's an ID channel special, for sure.
And then he goes to try to turn himself in once he's found out. It's always been you, the killer, which we should have known because full serial killer hair.
Right.
And his eyes are so purple at this point, it looks like 2 bruised buttholes that just kill people. John knows he's a killer.
Right.
But John still has a good heart somewhere in there, I think, because then he decides to go turn himself in, and he's convincing his ex-partner, here's all the details, I swear to God, I killed these people. And his partner's like, no, you've gone crazy.
Yeah, and also because he looks cray.
He looks insane.
He literally, he looks like Aileen Wuornos felt, you know what I mean, on the inside. Like it was crazy.
He gives me very like daytime at the yogurt stop on Santa Monica during Pride.
He gave me like
He hasn't slept in a while. He's kind of like, he's fucked up with like a spoon in his mouth.
Yeah, he gives me like last day at white party and your friends all left you behind.
He is the last guy at white party
like
in the pool, like, where are you guys going?
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell his partner, I killed him, and his partner's like, no, you didn't. And
his partner's like not trying to hear it. He's like, no, you didn't. You're not a killer. I know you, even though I don't know you.
Totally. His partner's listening, but you know who's listening the most? Us, the audience.
Right.
Because we're the ones who've been strung along, and Detective John is like, this is how I did all of it. And we're like, finally.
Finally. And
the part where he's vividly describing how he glued that dick in that girl, how he bashed that guy with that Oscar. I mean, it's sick, but now we know.
Classic cheater move when you accuse someone else of cheating even though you're cheating yourself. Because as we know, he's been carrying along.
Good point.
It's a classic cheater move. You've been carrying along.
If anyone's dick belongs in a jar, it's you, Detective
You've
John.
been fucking a dead heroin addict for 5 years. Excuse me. Since when did you care about your wife? Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry, but you don't get a chance to carry cheater. Then what happens to detective? The other detective?
He gets stabbed.
He gets stabbed. Not just that. What else happened to him?
Girl, they cut that dick off and put it in a jar so fast.
Just the tip. You know, we don't like just the tip. If you're gonna cut the dick off, cut the whole dick off. Be full, embrace your Lorena Bobbitt and cut it all off. Just the tip doesn't do any of us very good.
Thankfully, John doesn't get incarcerated because he confesses and then decides to kill the guy. Not only is Detective John the killer, Detective John the killer is taking over for the original killer, who is James Patrick Marsh.
JPM.
It's been under our noses the whole time.
Yeah.
This Jumanji character has been killing people, and 2 kills in, he couldn't finish his beautiful set of 10. He's like, can you kill for me?
And it was weird too because I'm like, clearly James Patrick Marsh has seen the movie Copycat starring Sigourney Weaver and Harry Connick Jr. because it was literally the exact same plot. He was like, oh, I want you to like recreate all these like famous murders or just murders based off of the Ten Commandments. Harry Connick Jr. did the same thing to some guy who I can't remember, but then Sigourney Weaver got involved and she solved the case just like us. Like we're solving the case.
He's copycatting copycat.
He's copycatting copycat and we're like the Sigourney Weavers.
Maybe the 10th commandment is you should kill all the vampires and then everyone goes home.
And so just as John is like barely hanging on, his sanity is barely hanging on, Lady Gaga, they're like, her and James Patrick March are like, what can we do to send this bitch over the edge? And they're like looking at his wallet and looking at his little cute little family minus Chloe Sevigny's hair. They're like, we're gonna steal his son. By the way, this is the most misogynistic show I've ever seen.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Scarlett?
Yeah, who cares? Because no one cares about Scarlett, okay?
Scarlett is fully a boxcar child at this point.
She's a latchkey kid, she's a boxcar child.
Yeah.
She's literally, her parents are both dead and crazy and also don't care.
You know, my dad left too, and I bet you the same thing happened. He went to a hotel, got mixed up in vampires. I'll work through it later.
Yeah. It does get better, Scarlett.
You will put on a wig, you'll become a famous, iconic drag queen superstar, and you don't care that your dad left you.
Who needs your dad when you have like amazing couture and lip gloss?
Yeah, also your mom had garbage hair.
Yeah. So they decide, Lady Gaga and James Patrick March are like, what can we do to fuck with this bitch even more? And so they're like, okay, we're gonna steal Holden because no one cares about Scarlett, so they steal Holden.
Yeah.
Sends him right over the edge, girl. He is
right
gone.
over.
He's gone, girl, okay?
Well, and it's interesting because before we knew Lady Gaga stole this kid, but we thought it was just like, you're a vampire, you're stealing kids.
Oh, we thought she was like an evil Mary Poppins doing it because she's evil.
She stole this kid because Patrick Marsh was like, there's something in it for me.
Right.
And you.
He needed to tap into that darkness, and in order to do that, he had to steal that a scarily blonde child, okay?
Yeah.
That like really freakishly blonde, no offense, blonde child. They go ahead and steal him, and what happens?
And that way, Detective John is almost like a victim because they manipulated him into becoming someone who kills people.
I mean, it's its own Forensic Files episode. Like, it literally just happened, and now he goes over the edge and becomes the copycat killer, except the Ten Commandments killer for James Patrick Marsh, who's like, yes, tap into your darkness, kill people, because Holden's gone.
That kid's hair.
He's boring.
He looks like Amy Poehler 6 weeks into chemo.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, like 5 weeks. It's not that bad.
Okay. He was scary, and boring, and Scarlett was not, because Scarlett was smart and perceptive. Yeah. And
if you ever want to push me over the edge and you steal one of my kids, I'm telling you that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, one less thing. You know
one less mouth to feed. So that's what happens, and then he starts murdering everyone in the city and doing it in very amazingly gory ways and keeping the remnants in glass jars in a hidden vault in his hotel room. Room 64.
If I was the writer-operator of American Horror Story, I would have maybe looked at this episode and said, this is a lot. Let me space it out so that the drag queens and homosexuals recapping it can wrap their pea-sized brains around it. I'm not what you would call an intellectual. Yeah. Cut to, we can always rely on her, hypodermic Sally. Some people cry after sex, some people smoke after sex. Sally, Detective John has been fucking her.
Yeah.
And every time he leaves, he's like, I gotta go be a cop and take care of my kids. She's like, one more cigarette and tear.
Yeah, she's like, wait a minute, I need to finish crying, then you can go.
Obviously, the theme of this whole season is addiction. That's the obvious theme in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And now it's so much more interesting because it's this chain-smoking drug addict who's hooking up with this alcoholic who kills people. These vampires are basically addicted to blood. That's what that is.
Okay.
So it's this mess of addicts who are all enslaved by their addiction, and the addiction really is this hotel that they're all trapped in. It's all coming together. Like this show,
Should we call you Trixie Mattel? I mean, what?
I will come to your house, I will figure out the points in your thesis, and I will bring them to my YouTube friends.
Trixie, fix your life. I mean, this is amazing.
The thing about addiction is it's a cycle that never ends, and it brings down anyone in it. So, I mean, in these next few episodes, I'm anticipating everyone going down, really. Just when you think he's gone, Pot Sticker Man is back.
I got so hungry. I mean,
John is not feeling this murder he just did, and he's gonna hang himself, which is so sick to watch. No matter how many times I see it on TV, it's gross.
It's gross.
And I know there's a harness, I know it's not really hanging, but it's gross. And then Sally's just watching him do it, and Marsh walks in and is like, you dare let him expire.
JPM got really pissed off, and he was like, girl, we had a deal, and apparently the deal is She gets to fuck Detective Hottie. She gets to like cry and smoke and live in the hotel forever.
I think Pot Sticker Man is like somehow linked to Hypodermic Sally. And like in a way, I think the metaphor is like that's her addiction that's feeding on those around her.
Yeah.
Because anybody she kind of comes in contact with, this thing wants to kill while she smokes and cries. Detective John's partner is like, this Sally woman, this girl's been dead since '94. And John is like, whoa.
I know, literally. And also, like, the Throwback Thursday of Hypodermic Sally's death, again, could have done without that. That was a little graphic for me.
I love seeing it.
Like, he doesn't get that they're all dead because he talks
He doesn't get that
He's like,
Marsh
why are
is
you
dead.
talking that 30s accent? And James Patrick Marsh's like, oh, my elocution accent, my proper British, you know.
The next time I see somebody with an accent, I'm going to assume they're a ghost. Yeah, I think John's going to come home and be like, girl, have you been dead the whole time? And Sally's going to be like, maybe. Like...
Well, also when her hologram like vanishes and Pot Sticker Man starts like flashing behind her, maybe he'll get the hint that she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, or
he doesn't
that.
even know James Patrick Marsh is dead.
Yeah. I think like Detective Hottie, while very sexy, isn't that bright.
But if I had to wear animal print, crimp my hair, and be a dead drug addict just to have him pwn my hole, I would do that.
You'd be like a power couple of the Hotel Cortez. You're wearing Hypodermic Sally's leopard coat, which is amazing.
It's fake leopard. Unlike that one girl who's like, a little cruelty can be delicious. I'm like, this is fake.
Well, she's clearly had veal, and it is. But here's the thing. You are killing it, and I think you would make Hypodermic Sally very proud. Now, just do some heroin and smoke a cigarette and kill some people, and then you can fulfill her legacy even more.
Easier said than done.
Our number one point is Kathy Bates and Detective Hottie have a kiki about what's really happening, being that he's the 10 Commandments killer, and she's now a vampire, and they have this like divine secrets of the Yaya sisterhood in the Hotel Cortez moment.
Yep,
and
it was very 50 First Dates.
she was Adam Sandler, he was Drew Barrymore, and she kept playing along, but that was getting old. Because she's like, I'm dead now, and I just want to tell you the truth.
He's holding the dick in the bag too. He's like, girl, I know I have a dick right here.
Just the tip, don't forget, just the tip, just the dick tip.
Hi, I've got my dick tip. Can I get my usual room, please?
And she's like, okay, well, I'm glad you get it now. And then we're all just, you know, very comforted by that.
Usually when I bring a dick back to my room, I'm the one half in the bag. Before, John was a killer, but unknowingly, and now Detective John's in a place where he's aware of being a killer and is kind of into it. He knows he's a killer now.
He does.
And he's looking at the next few jars and he's ready to fill them.
Self-awareness is key. What could go in those jars?
There's a lot more to it than just putting dicks in jars. Predictions, thoughts, ideas.
I wouldn't be so cocky and comfortable if I were Lady Gaga. Take a look behind you, girl, wherever you go, because you got Ramona Royale, Donovan, Valentino, his Russian jump off, and all these people after you. I believe there is a grit of people that are coming for Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Thematically, too, it's the whole addiction theme. These addicts, whoever really is an addict in any way is not going to make it out alive. And Gaga, in a way, is like the drug dealer.
Oh, so they're gonna turn on the dealer.
Well, the dealer's gone. Everybody who does drugs is gone. The only one I think who might make it out would be Chloe Sevigny might live, and she might live in this hotel and take care of these kids.
Very sweet. That is
Bomer
very,
and his mom are dead.
For sure, yeah. You think Ramona's gonna die?
I don't know.
Ramona Royale, I don't know if she's gonna make it.
I'm not even barely invested in her. She was trying to kill that baby. Maybe she's gonna end up killing the baby.
Oh my gosh, yes, that horrific looking, scary baby. I feel as though Kathy Bates may make it out.
No way. She's gonna kill herself for her son at some point.
Okay.
And then as soon as she dies, Bomer's gonna be like, I wanna die too. Like, totally, I can see it happening.
Well, along those lines, I do see Chloe Sevigny killing herself for Holden because she's literally, her whole life is Holden. She's beholden to Holden. Like, it's literally nothing. I know. Sorry, I hate myself and love puns. Everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead. Some of those kids with the messed up hair might live, but that's it. I guess for me, the most Gaga moment would be when she was in that childlike empress tiara thing and she was at dinner with Marsh.
Yeah,
when she said, ooh, for your blue eyes, I'm the countess of whatever you want or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That was definitely the most Gaga moment because it was charming and seductive and elusive, honey, and I think it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. The horror hunk moment is obviously Detective John. Now that he kills people, he's 50 times hotter.
Yeah.
There was that sexy moment where he was sitting in the bathtub and Hypodermic Sally was rubbing his hair and grooming it. And then James Patrick Marsh was like rubbing his hair.
Oh, he combed it too.
Given the history of the show, I thought it was gonna get gay.
hunk of horror is definitely James Patrick March.
Ew!
Yeah, that, old-timey American elocution is so sexy.
14-year-old Evan Peters wearing a full-blown,
Okay, first of all,
like, joke shop mustache.
14
being
times
like,
2, he's 28 years old, which is amazing.
white skin with just this imposter fake-ass Wario mustache.
He kind of does look like the baby from Addams Family Values.
Completely!
He kind of does look like the baby from
Hubert
Addams
is real.
Yeah, he definitely does.
So that's my thing, but if you're into that, live your truth. If you think that the horror hunk of the week is my guy, Detective John,
Right.
let me know.
If you think it's James Patrick March because you're unconventional and amazing, let me know.
Thank you for watching #AfterShow, American Horror Story Hotel. And if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna subscribe to Wow Presents? Can I get an amen?
Amen.